this is Danik from Global AV. If it would be possible to make me host just for a few minutes so I can set up the interpretation, please. Thank you.
For sure. She's just joining now.
Do we have Dr. Etches on the line? Thank you for joining us. Merci d'être parmi nous aujourd'hui. My name is Kina Leclerc and I will be your moderator. Je m'appelle Kina Leclerc et je serai l'animatrice de ce point de presse. I will now invite each agency to ask their question. You may ask one question and one follow-up. Par ordre alphabétique, j'invite maintenant chaque organisme à poser une question et une question de suivi. So we will now begin with Kate Porter at CBC Ottawa, followed by Perushka at City News Ottawa. Just a moment, we're having a technical issue.
This one? Oh, look at this. Okay. A question from Steve K's desk for Steve K. I'm wondering about the light rail inquiry, and if you could just speak a bit to, what has been going on behind the scenes, all the preparation, what you've been doing, what you're expecting in terms of how many people might be speaking, et cetera. Just, we see the dates today that it will go on for 4 weeks.
Thank you, Kate. The inquiry is well underway. The commission councils have been interviewing witnesses and preparing the documentation that's been recorded formally. And they're setting hearing dates for mid-June into July with the intent to meet the report deadline late August, which is what they've been very clear about achieving. So now what we are waiting for, as well as all the other people who have standing and the other people engaged in the process, is who will the commission ask to appear in the public hearing. So a lot of work has been happening behind the scenes. The city has provided well over 500,000 documents, not pages, documents to the commission. We have provided lists of people and potential witnesses, hundreds and hundreds of people going back to 2007. And the commission council and the commissioner has made a determination of who they're going to interview. And that process is still underway and should be wrapping up, I think, very soon. And then they're going to, as I say, come back and tell us who now will be required to appear publicly for the hearings.
Okay. I have another question about the construction industry, and just wondering if you're worried, and this could be to the mayor as well, if you're worried at all about the library especially, or LRT, although I know cost is a different question in terms of what's captured, or what's not on your bill, I guess I should say. But any concerns given, crane operators, construction workers are on strike, and what it means for these big city building projects?
No, we're very concerned. I mean, I know, there's discussion about trying to get this resolved as quickly as possible. The private sector, obviously, we have a lot of cranes up in Ottawa. It's probably a record-breaking year in terms of how many high-rises we have going and construction projects. We are concerned about our major projects and light rail. There's no question about it. If this goes on too long, it is going to impede our ability to keep on schedule, and we're already having schedule problems because of supply issues, supply chain issues, because of the challenge to find enough labor to do these jobs. So yeah, that's being factored all in. We're watching it, but there's not a lot we can do right now. Just like the private sector says, at some point, if the cranes don't come back, for example, there's only so much work you can do before you run out of work. So we're hopeful that they get back to the table very soon, but that is a real concern for us.
Okay, thank you for that.
Thank you, Kate. We'll now go to Perushka at City News Ottawa, who's joining us virtually, and then we will go to Leah Larocque at CTV Ottawa.
Okay, perfect. Hi there. Hi, everyone. My question is for Dr. Vera Etches. I was just curious to know, Ontario Liberal leader Stephen Del Duca said if he's elected, he'll add COVID-19 vaccinations to the mandatory list of immunization for kids. First of all, what's your reaction to this? And is this perhaps something public health has considered implementing, perhaps in the future school years, for example?
Well, thank you. So completely unrelated to the election, our health unit has previously said we do support the use of the Immunization of School Pupils Act as a tool that gives us the best information about immunization coverage in schools. So we have said that it could be used for COVID to have a better understanding of the coverage rates in schools. It doesn't make the immunization itself mandatory, but the reporting of it. And so this is something we have previously said we're in favor of. In order for that to happen, it's actually a provincial action. So it would need to be acted on at the provincial level to bring that into being.
And say if it was implemented by the provincial level, I mean, would this be a good way to perhaps, increase those vaccination rates amongst the younger kids that, that we're seeing gradually increase throughout these 2 years?
I think in Ottawa, we have fairly high coverage rates of COVID vaccination among older youth. And there are different reasons why the younger 5 to 11-year-olds may have lower rates. But across the province, we're really one of the highest rates of uptake. And so I think what it would do is it would give people pause to consciously make a decision, to look at the information and be required to consciously choose to be vaccinated or not. Of course, vaccines aren't yet available for all children. So children under 5 that are in school, they don't even have the option yet. So we've always wanted to proceed slowly to have enough time for people to get the information, to be able to access the vaccine, to understand the pros and cons about why they want to have the vaccine or not. And that it is important to keep letting parents know these are safe vaccines, that vaccination does provide longer lasting immunity than, say, just a simple infection as well. So even people who've been infected with the virus, we still recommend vaccination. So there are a lot of messages still to convey, and I think being able to connect with all parents to share the latest information is useful.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much. Nous allons maintenant passer à Julien Paquette à Le Droit, and then we'll go to John Willing at the Ottawa Citizen.
Bonjour, la question pour Monsieur le maire.
Question for the mayor. I understand that we still haven't approved the 150 million required for the new hospital, but is this a serious option that should be explored, the possibility of not granting this money like it was done in Toronto? Well, I don't have all the details about Toronto, but certainly Mr. Greenberg, Mr. Love, who are the two responsible people for the fund collection, say that if the community is just not able to raise the money for 10% of the bill for the capital aspects, well, and as I said, it's a test of our leadership. It's important to support this new hospital because it will serve not only the City of Ottawa, but the western part of Quebec, the east of Ontario, and the Nunavut territory. We had a tradition, for instance, we gave some funds for the Queensway Carleton Hospital, and the old city of Nepean gave some $100 million. So it's probably the most important project after the light rail for the next 10 years. It's important for the economy. It will create a few thousand jobs. And we have almost 100-year-old building that's not too efficient right now. So the time has come for the City of Ottawa to open a new facility with all the modern equipment and technology to help the population in the community. And Mr. Kanalakis mentioned earlier that there were interviews done for the preparation, in preparation for the inquiry. Did you take part in these interviews? Did you meet people? Yes, the lawyers of the group, some 2 weeks ago, I believe. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup, Julien.
Merci.
John Willing at the Ottawa Citizen.
Thank you. Transpo's largest union this morning is quite angry with Transpo and the city over the break process. Transpo's largest union, ATU, suggests that morale is at an all-time low. right now. Can someone fill me in as to what's going on right now? Is this related to the new federal regulations over breaks? And do we have enough operators to cover these gaps, I guess, in the schedules?
Is Troy Charter on? I know Renee
Sorry.
is away on annual leave.
Sorry, John, we can follow up by email. I have a response for you that I can share.
Thank you. Mayor Watson, on the civic hospital issue, would you mind if your property taxes went up to help pay for the municipal contribution to the project?
Yeah, as you know, John, for the last 3 campaigns, I've run on a platform of raising taxes to a certain level and to keep it within the cap. I would hope that if we are able to reach a positive negotiation with the hospital, the bulk of those funds would come from costs that would not be borne on the tax bill itself. But that's a possibility. I wouldn't rule it out. If it's a reasonable amount spread over a long period of time, so it's not a big hit to the tax bill, and it's clearly identified on the bill as going to the hospital as opposed to coming to the city. That's been done in other jurisdictions, and it's worked out quite well. Look, at the end of the day, we need to show support for this project. Next to the LRT, it's going to be the largest infrastructure project in our city's history. And we are not particularly well served by having a building that's almost 100 years old that has just been cobbled together over decades. I think we need a facility befitting our status as a healthcare hub where we serve Eastern Ontario, Western Quebec, the Nunavut territory, as well as the whole City of Ottawa. So there may be a portion of your tax bill increase if the next council agrees to it, put on your tax bill.
Thank you very much. We will now go to Jackie Miller at the Ottawa Sun. Jackie, are you on the line? Okay, this is all the time that we have. It concludes our media avail. Ceci conclut notre point de presse. Merci beaucoup. Thank you.
And we'll meet in our first tabletop position of our practice. So fingers are spread wide, rooting through the index finger and the thumb. Draw the elbows in toward